What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about some more Stellar Blade news. So there was an exclusive interview done by this YouTube channel called Julian Chiez, and I hope that's how you say his name right. Bigger creator for sure, and it was translated, and people kind of combined it all. You know how it goes. In fact, the tweet we're looking at's got the classic, just like green check marks. Everybody does the check mark thing right on Twitter now. So let's just go over it. Game length is around 25 hours. There's 20 boss fights varying between humanoid enemies and colossal creatures. PlayStation took responsibility for the localization, QA, and communications, which allowed Shift Up to concentrate on just the base development. The game was originally more restricted in scope as the team was originally experienced with mobile games, and over time, the game expanded. Sony collaborated with Shift Up, giving input on the gameplay and how to improve the game. Stellar Blade exclusivity deal began back in 2021 when Shuhei Yoshida, of course, visited the studio. At the time, it was known as Project Eve. And if you remember the first time we saw it, it was also Project Eve. So some of the stuff I believe we've seen before. Not 100% sure on the game length, right? 25 hours. I think we might have talked about that in a different interview. Some of the stuff, like I said, is kind of either worded slightly different or it's just the same as what we've heard, but some of it's new. But 25 hours, to me, that is, there's no perfect length. There's no perfect game length, but for a game like this, does it need to be 40, 50, 60 hours? No. I think 25 makes a lot of sense. And remember, this is going to have side stuff. So the 25 hours, I don't know if that's just like the main stuff, but the choice of if you want to do the side things like that is there in the game. So the 20 boss fights, that's pretty awesome. I mean, we see in the demo, I believe maybe two, right? Two boss. I don't know if they're classified as like legitimate bosses, like are the two things you fight that have like bigger health bars in the demo, are those classified as bosses? It doesn't matter. Either way, there'd be 20 of them. And then the PlayStation stuff, some of that we have definitely heard before. The whole, like, they give input on the gameplay and how to improve the game. I know that might scare people, specifically with, like, how they look, how the characters look. But again, to me, it really, because again, this is not the first time we've seen that specific point. It seems like Sony has just tried to help them in terms of making it a game, right? Like, you do have to remember where these guys came from doing mobile stuff. It is very different, I imagine, doing mobile and then jumping to something like this. So to have somebody kind of walk you through it, just in case, I think that's totally fine. Hopefully they don't, as long as they don't change like the core of what the game is. But they did talk in a different interview, I believe, about like the third act or the tail end of the game, that Sony had something to do with it. And then Shuhei Yoshida, man, the guy's a legend. I was afraid, back in the day, back maybe a year ago, right, when there was rumors of people leaving Sony and there were going to be like big names. I was praying to God that Shuhei Yoshida doesn't leave. This guy is a talent. I think he knows, he can like feel games, right? He can feel different kinds of games. He can feel good games. He's the head of their indie team, right? So I respect the guy quite a bit. And just knowing that he had a big part to play in this, honestly, that does, I would say that increases how excited I am, because I do trust his love of games and his just different kind of feel of games. I respect that quite a bit. So there you go. Not revolutionary news by any means, but we're getting closer. We're about a month and a half away. Eventually, preview-like things where the journalists will get their hands on it, and then eventually codes will be out, and we really don't have much longer until this game is in our hands. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.